Thunder cracked. 2,000 cattle panicked. Only one dog stood between order and chaos.
Get
They
along, little
called her
doggies.
Red, and she was about to attempt the impossible. Texas, 1878. The largest cattle drive in 5 years was preparing to depart. 2,000 head, longhorns, destined for Kansas railhead. 800 miles, 3 months, 12 cowboys, 1 trail boss, and Red, the Australian cattle dog, 3 years old. Red and white speckled coat, intense working eyes, compact muscular build. She belonged to Tom, the trail boss, 35 years old, experienced, respected, tough but fair. Tom had driven cattle for 15 years, knew every danger, every challenge, every trick. But this drive was different, bigger, more valuable, higher stakes. The rancher, Mr. Henderson, had invested everything, his entire herd, his future, his family's security, all riding on this drive reaching Kansas safely, successfully, profitably. Tom, this is it. Everything I have. Don't lose them. We won't, sir. I've got the best crew, best horses, best conditions. And that dog of yours? Tom looked at Red, working, already organizing cattle, moving stragglers, anticipating problems. Best cattle dog in Texas, sir, maybe anywhere. The crew assembled. 12 cowboys, young and old, experienced and green, but all capable, all committed. Cookie, the camp cook, 50 years old, veteran of a dozen drives. The remuda, 80 horses for rotating mounts. The chuck wagon, supplies for 3 months. Everything organized, professional, ready. Tom dressed the crew. This is the biggest drive most of you have seen. 2,000 head. We lose cattle, we lose money, we lose too many, we lose everything. Stay alert, stay sharp, watch for danger, and trust Red. She'll see problems before we do. Listen to her, follow her lead. The cowboys nodded. Most had worked with Red before, knew her capabilities, respected her instincts. She was more than a dog. She was crew, essential crew. They departed at dawn. 2,000 longhorns, moving north, slow, steady, organized. Red worked the flanks, moving constantly, watching everything, anticipating problems, correcting issues before they became disasters. First week went smoothly. Good weather, good grass, good water. Cattle settled into routine. Cowboys relaxed slightly. But Tom stayed vigilant. The easy part was over. Real challenges lay ahead. Week 2. Week 2. They reached the Red River. Crossing point. Always dangerous. Fast current, deep water, nervous cattle, recipe for disaster. Tom studied the river, planned the crossing. We'll cross in 3 groups, 700 each. Smaller groups, more control, less panic. The first group entered the water, led by experienced point riders. Red swam alongside, keeping cattle together, preventing drift, watching for strugglers. Halfway across, a young steer panicked, started swimming wrong direction, away from the herd, toward faster current, certain drowning. Red saw it immediately, swam hard, intercepted the steer, bit its ear, sharp, painful, got its attention, guided it back, to the herd, to safety. The crossing took all day, exhausting, dangerous, but successful. All 2,000 head across, none lost. That night, Cookie spoke. "That dog saved a steer today. Saw it. Fast thinking. Good instincts." Tom nodded. "She's special. Always has been. Sees everything. Anticipates everything. Like she knows what cattle will do before they do." Week 4. Oklahoma Territory. Indian lands. Peaceful, mostly, but tense. Treaties existed. Permission granted, but situations changed. One afternoon, Red alerted. Different, urgent. Not cattle, something else. Tom saw them, riders, 6 of them, approaching from the west, armed. Could be anything. Indians, outlaws, ranchers. Tom signaled the crew. Stay calm, stay ready. The riders approached, stopped. Leader spoke. Comanche. "You cross our land. We have permission from the treaty. Treaty with government, not with us. You pay, or you turn back." Tom considered. Fighting was stupid. Losing was catastrophic. What payment? 10 cattle. Good ones. 10 from 2,000. Reasonable toll. Expected, actually. Agreed. Choose them. The Comanche selected 10. Young steers. Healthy. Valuable, but acceptable. They left peacefully. Crisis avoided, but it cost them. First loss of the drive. Week 6. Kansas border approaching. Weather changed. Spring storms. Dangerous for cattle drives. Lightning. Thunder. Perfect conditions for stampede. Tom watched the sky. Dark. Ominous. "Everyone stay alert. Storm's coming. Big one. Keep cattle calm. Don't spook them. Red, stay close." The storm hit at sunset. Rain, heavy. Wind, strong. Lightning, constant. Thunder, deafening. The cattle grew nervous, restless, moving, bellowing, panic building. Tom rode the perimeter, singing, calming, old trail boss trick. The crew joined, singing, speaking softly, trying to keep cattle settled. But nature was winning. A lightning bolt, massive, close, hit a tree, 50 yards away, exploding. Terrifying. The cattle bolted, all 2,000, stampede. The most dangerous moment on any cattle drive. 2,000 longhorns running blindly, unstoppable, deadly. Cowboys rode hard, trying to turn the herd. Classic technique. Get to the front, turn leaders, create a circle. Eventually, cattle tire, stop. But in darkness, in storm, nearly impossible. Tom saw the disaster unfolding. They were heading for a ravine, deep, rocky, deadly. 2,000 cattle running into a ravine meant hundreds dead, maybe thousands. Everything lost. He rode hard, trying to reach the front, trying to turn them, but too far, too many, too fast. Then he saw Red, the Australian cattle dog, running, not beside the herd, in front, directly in front, barking, snapping, challenging 2,000 stampeding cattle, alone. Impossible, suicidal, incredible. The lead cattle, seeing the dog, hearing the barking, slowed slightly, confused, uncertain. Red kept barking, kept challenging, kept standing firm. One small dog, facing impossible odds. The leaders turned, slightly, away from the ravine, following the dog, who was now running, leading them away from disaster, toward safety. The herd followed, turning, gradually, away from the ravine. Still running, But direction changed. Disaster averted. Tom and the crew took over. Now the direction was changed, they could work, could circle, could stop the stampede. 30 minutes later, the cattle stopped, exhausted, confused, but alive. All of them. Tom counted, frantically, in darkness, in rain. 2,000 head, minus the 10 given as toll, all accounted for. None lost to the ravine, none lost to the stampede. Because of Red, the little cattle dog who stood against impossible odds, who challenged 2,000 stampeding cattle, who turned them, saved everything. Tom found Red, exhausted, panting, soaked, but unharmed. He knelt beside her. You saved them, all of them, the whole drive, everything. Red's tail wagged, weakly. Job done. The crew gathered, staring, processing what they'd witnessed. "I've been on 20 drives," Cookie said. "Never seen anything like that. That dog stood against a stampede, alone, turned them. Impossible, but she did it." The others nodded, speechless, stunned. They'd just witnessed the impossible, a legend being born. Red, the cattle dog, who saved 2,000 head from certain disaster, alone, against impossible odds. The story would be told for generations around campfires, in bunkhouses, wherever cowboys gathered, about the night in a Kansas storm when one small dog did the impossible. Morning came. Clear, calm, like the storm never happened. But evidence remained. Muddy ground, exhausted cattle, tired crew, changed perspective. They looked at Red differently now. Not just a cattle dog, something more, something extraordinary. Tom checked the herd, carefully, looking for injuries, losses, problems. Found none. Miracle. Pure miracle. 2,000 cattle stampeded in darkness toward a ravine, and none lost, none injured, because one dog stopped it, changed direction, saved everything. The crew prepared to move, but slower, letting cattle rest, recover. They were close now, 2 days from the Kansas railhead, 2 days from completion, from success. But those 2 days still held danger, still required vigilance. Tom called the crew together. "What Red did last night, I've never seen, never heard of. She saved this drive, saved Mr. Henderson's investment, saved all our jobs. She's not just a dog, she's a hero." The crew agreed, unanimously, completely. They reached Dodge City 2 days later. The railhead, end of the trail, cattle pens, buyers, weighing stations, the business end. Mr. Henderson was waiting, had ridden up from Texas to oversee the sale, to see his investment completed. Tom rode up. "Mr. Henderson, 2,000 head, all accounted for, minus 10 we paid as toll." Henderson stared. "All of them? No losses?" "No losses, sir." "How? In 3 months? 800 miles? No losses?" Tom told the story, the stampede, the ravine, Red's impossible stand. Henderson listened, silent, absorbing. When Tom finished, Henderson looked at Red, the little red and white cattle dog, sitting calmly, just another day's work. "I want to buy her. Name your price." Tom shook his head. "She's not for sale, sir." "Tom, I'll pay anything, double, triple, whatever you want." "She's not for sale, at any price. She's my partner, my friend. She's priceless." Henderson nodded slowly, understanding. Then, I'm giving you a bonus. For all of you, but especially for her. 20% of my profit for saving everything. The sale went well. Excellent prices. Market was hungry for beef. Henderson made a fortune. The crew got their bonuses. Generous, life-changing for some. Tom got his share, plus extra for Red. But money wasn't the point. Success was. Completion was. Getting 2,000 head from Texas to Kansas without loss. That was the achievement. That was the legend. Word spread quickly. In Dodge City, among cattlemen, buyers, trail bosses. You hear about Tom's drive? 2,000 head? No losses? Impossible. Always losses. Weather, rivers, stampedes. Not this time. His dog, Red, stopped a stampede, alone. Turned 2,000 head away from a ravine. A dog stopped a stampede? Saw it myself. Was buying from the herd. Talked to the crew. All swear to it. One dog against 2,000 cattle. Changed everything. The story grew, spread, became legend. Red became famous. The cattle dog who stopped a stampede. Cowboys wanted to meet her, see her, understand how. Tom fielded requests constantly. Can I see Red? Buy her, breed her, learn from her. He declined most, protected her, but shared knowledge about training, about instincts, about trusting working dogs. Tom and Red returned to Texas. Heroes. Henderson threw a celebration. Entire town invited. To Tom, to his crew, and especially to Red, the greatest cattle dog in Texas. People cheered, celebrated, wanted to see Red, touch her, as if her courage transferred. Red handled it well, patient, tolerant, but uncomfortable. She was a working dog, not a celebrity. Preferred cattle to crowds, work to attention. Tom understood. After an hour, he took her home, away from celebration, back to normal. But normal had changed. Offers flooded in. Ranchers wanting Tom to boss their drives, specifically wanting Red, offering premium pay, bonuses, anything. Tom, will you boss my drive 1,500 head to Montana? I'll pay double standard rate. Mr. Carson, Red and I just finished a drive. We need rest. I understand, but I need the best, and you're the best, because of that dog. It was always because of Red. Tom didn't mind. He agreed. She was extraordinary. Deserved the credit, deserved the recognition. Spring 1879. Tom accepted another drive, smaller, 1,200 head, to Colorado. Different challenges. Mountain passes, higher altitude, thinner air. Red adapted, always adapted. The drive went smoothly. Red's reputation preceded them. Cowboys worked harder, stayed more alert, wanted to impress, wanted to meet standards. Red set standards, with work, with focus, with instinct. They reached Colorado without incident. No stampedes, no losses, no disasters. Perfect drive. But Tom knew not every drive could be perfect. Luck played a role. Weather, territory, timing. Red minimized problems, prevented disasters, but couldn't control everything. Still, 2 perfect drives, back to back, enhanced the legend, made Red even more famous. Tom received offers from across the West, from as far as Montana, Wyoming, even California. Tom, will you bring Red? Help us move cattle. We'll pay anything. Over the next 3 years, Tom and Red completed 12 drives, different sizes, different distances, different challenges. All successful. Minimal losses, maximum profit. Red became legendary. Stories multiplied, embellished sometimes, but core truth remained. She was extraordinary. The best cattle dog anyone had seen. By 1882, Red was 6 years old, still capable, still working, but Tom noticed changes. She slowed slightly, took longer to recover, showed signs of aging. Normal for working dogs, expected, but concerning. Tom considered retirement for both of them. They'd done enough, proven enough, earned enough, could settle down. Ranch work, lighter duty, comfortable life. But one more offer came from Mr. Henderson, the rancher whose drive started everything. Tom, I need you. One more time. Biggest drive I've ever attempted. 3,000 head to Montana. I'll pay triple rate, but I need Red. Need both of you. Tom hesitated. 3,000 head. Montana. 1,800 miles. 4 months minimum. Hardest drive possible. Red was aging. This could break her. But Henderson was desperate. Tom, I wouldn't ask if I had choice, but you're the only one I trust. The only one with the skills, the experience, the dog. Tom looked at Red, still alert, still eager, still willing. I'll ask her. If she's up for it, we go. If not, we decline. He knelt beside Red, spoke softly. Big one, girl. Last one. Hardest one. You up for it? Red's tail wagged, stood, ready, always ready. Tom nodded to Henderson. We're in, but this is the last one. After this, we retire, both of us. Agreed. One last legendary drive. Then you've earned your rest. They prepared carefully. Best crew, best horses, best supplies. Everything perfect. Because this drive would be the hardest, the most dangerous, the most legendary. Tom, Red, and 3,000 cattle heading to Montana for one final impossible journey. May 1882. 3,000 longhorns. Assembled, organized, ready. The largest drive Tom had ever attempted. 15 cowboys, best he could find. Cookie, now 60, still best camp cook in Texas. The remuda, 100 horses for the long journey. Tom addressed the crew. Final instructions. Montana, 1,800 miles, 4 months. Hardest drive any of us will face. Stay sharp, trust each other, and trust Red. She's done this more than anyone. Learn from her. They departed at dawn. 3,000 cattle, moving north. Slow, methodical, professional. Red worked constantly. Flanks, rear, front, everywhere. Watching, correcting, preventing. Her experience showed. Anticipated problems. Solved them before they escalated. First month went well. Good weather, decent grass, adequate water. Cattle settled, crew worked smoothly. But Tom worried. Red was working harder. Longer hours, less rest. Pushing herself, maybe too hard. Month 2. They reached Kansas, familiar territory. Tom's reputation preceded them. Other trail bosses, cowboys, ranchers, all wanted to see Red, meet the legend. Tom allowed brief visits, but protected her energy. She's working. This is a job, not a show. One young trail boss, named Miller, insisted. I need to see how she works. I'm starting drives. Need to learn." Tom relented. Let Miller ride alongside for a day, watching Red work. Miller was amazed. She's everywhere, sees everything. How does she know where to be? Experience, instinct, intelligence. She reads cattle, predicts behavior, positions herself perfectly. Can that be taught? Some of it, but Red's special, natural ability, combined with years of work. You can't replicate that exactly, but you can learn principles. Tom spent the evening teaching, sharing knowledge, how to read cattle, how to position working dogs, how to trust their instincts. Miller took notes, grateful. You're changing cattle drives, you know that. Every young trail boss trying to do what you and Red do. Tom smiled. Red's changing them. I'm just along for the ride. Month 3. Wyoming Territory. Harder terrain, rougher conditions, mountains approaching, altitude increasing. Red struggled, more than before, breathing harder, recovering slower, but still working, still committed. Tom watched closely, ready to call it, turn back, if Red showed serious distress. One afternoon, steep climb, high altitude. Red collapsed, just stopped, lay down, panting heavily, couldn't continue. Tom dismounted immediately, carried her to the chuck wagon. Water, shade, rest. The crew gathered, concerned. Red had never stopped, never quit. This was serious. Cookie examined her. Exhaustion, altitude, age. She's given everything. Needs real rest. Days, maybe weeks. Tom nodded. We'll rest here. 3 days. Let her recover. Tom, 3 days puts us behind schedule. Montana buyers expecting us. I don't care. Red's more important than schedule. We rest. That's final. They camped, rested. Red slowly recovered. Eating, drinking, sleeping. But Tom saw it. She was done. Finished. This drive was too much. Month 4. Montana. Finally. 3,000 head. Still intact. Minimal losses. They reached Miles City. Henderson was waiting. Tom rode up, exhausted, relieved. Mr. Henderson, 3,000 head, all accounted for. Henderson smiled. I never doubted, not with you and Red. They completed the sale. Excellent prices. Henderson's biggest profit ever. Tom made an announcement. This was our last drive. Red and I. We're done. Retired. The crew understood, applauded. Cookie spoke. You set the standard, changed everything. You're legends. Tom bought a small ranch near Henderson's place. Peaceful, perfect. Red spent days resting, recovering. But she still worked lightly around the ranch, teaching younger dogs. Tom's ranch became training ground. Young cattle dogs came, learned from Red, watched, absorbed. Red taught patiently, demonstrated techniques, created next generation. By 1885, Red was 9 years old, mostly gray, slow, but still teaching, still influencing. When Red passed in 1886, peacefully, the entire ranching community mourned. Cattlemen from across Texas gathered. Tom spoke. Red saved 2,000 head from Stampede, completed 15 major drives, trained countless working dogs, changed cattle industry forever. They buried her on Tom's ranch. Red, 1875 to 1886, Australian cattle dog. She stopped the stampede. She changed everything. Tom would sit beside her grave, remembering. Every cattle dog working today owes you something. Every successful drive, that's your legacy. The cattle industry never forgot. Red's story passed down. About the night a small dog faced 2,000 stampeding cattle and won. One dog, one impossible moment, changed an entire industry. Forever.